very good afternoon to you. It's news at noon on Honor 103.5 FM. I am Grace Ugalahi. First, the headlines. President Tinubu and National Assembly face fresh criticism over 2024 budget extension. Indigenous people of Biafra condemns proposed cattle ranches in state, describing move as land-grabbing strategy. And also, head of United States Consulate Public Affairs Office, Julie Mackey, promised culture exchange and collaboration. Left-wing Democrats storm former governor in New York primary. And in the world of sports, Moses Simon completes Paris FC medical ahead of transfer. The details of these and more coming to you shortly. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still on Honor 103.5 FM and it's the news at noon. President Bola Tinubu and the National Assembly are facing fresh criticism over the extension of the 2024 budget implementation to December 31st, 2025. This is the second time the budget's implementation has been extended, causing concerns about the government's ability to manage its finances effectively. Economists, financial experts, and the organized private sectors have described the repeated extensions as evidence of poor execution capacity by ministries, departments, and agencies. The extension was made to allow the federal government to complete ongoing projects captured in the budget. However, critics argue that this is a clear indication of the government's inability to plan and execute its budget within the stipulated time frame. The development has also raised concerns and questions about the government's commitment to fiscal responsibility and transparency. With the new deadline, Nigeria is now operating two budgets within a single fiscal year, the 2024 budget and the 2025 budget. And still on the national scene, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has strongly condemned the announcement by President Bola Tinubu to establish cattle ranches in Abuja and other states. The group described the move as a sinister land-grabbing strategy camouflaged in government policy. The IPOB speaker, Ima Powerful, in a statement yesterday released to journalists, he said the move is a shame, prioritizing cow colonies over education, security, and innovation. IPOB has called on the government to respect the diversity of indigenous nationalities, preserve their cultures, and protect their ancestral lands. The group urged the government to choose reason over ruin and put on an end to the killings and bloodletting in the name of cows. And Powerful emphasized that IPOB will resist any attempt to impose the exceptionist agenda in Biafra land, stating that no inch of their territory will be given for header settlement or cattle corridor. Still on the African scene, the United States government has reaffirmed its commitment to fostering cultural exchange and strengthening collaboration with Nigeria. Julie Mackey, head of United States Consultant Public Affairs Office made the declaration today, 25th, during a courtesy visit to the Tunde Odunlade Arts and Culture Connections in Ibadan, Oyo State. Mackey expressed admiration for Nigerians' rich cultural traditions and emphasized the importance of mutual understanding through cultural diplomacy. According to her potential exchange program, artist residents and institutional partnership will benefit both Nigerians and American cultural sector. She also emphasized that this initiative aims to build deeper people-to-people relationships and create opportunities for cultural expression that transcends borders. The visit concluded with a tour of the gallery and interactions with local artists, reinforcing the commitment to ongoing engagement in cultural development in Oyo State and beyond. You're still listening to the news at noon on Honor 103.5 FM. And now into the African scene, the Zimbabwean government has filed an urgent court case in South Africa to stop the burial of former President Edgar Lungu. The move is the latest twist in a row between the government and Lungu's family over his burial. The family had opted for a private ceremony in South Africa rather than a full state funeral at home. The Zambian Attorney General has requested the court to halt the burial scheduled for Wednesday until the dispute is resolved. However, local media quotes the family as saying the funeral will go ahead as planned as they had not been served with court papers. The dispute follows a long-standing feud between Lungu and his successor, President Hakainde. The court case has underscored the tension between Lungu and his successor, which has continued even after his death. The outcome of the case remains uncertain, with the family determined to proceed with a private burial in South Africa. And moving on to the foreign scene, in a shocking turn of events, young left-wing candidate Zora Mandani has taken the lead in the Democratic primary for New York mayor. At just 33 years old, Mandani, a socialist, declared victory on Tuesday, defeating his main rival, the former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Mandani's win is historic as he would be the first Muslim and Indian American to lead the nation's largest city if elected. The primary in New York is likely to determine the next mayor, given the city's strong liberal leaning. The contest has been closely watched as a test for the Democratic Party, which is seeking to refine its messaging after losing in the last election. With his historic win, Mandani is poised to become a major player in the city's politics, and his campaign will likely be closely watched in coming months. Still on the foreign scene, tragedy has struck in Gaza, where at least 46 people waiting for aid have been killed by Israeli fire in two separate incidents. Rescuers and hospital reports that the incidents occurred in central and southern Gaza. The United Nations has condemned the U.S. and Israel-backed food distribution system, with one official calling it an abomination and a death trap. The system, run by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, has been criticized for its opaque funding and cooperation with Israel's goal in the war against Hamas. Eyewitnesses described chaotic scenes at the hospitals, with gunshot victims pouring in and casualties covering the floor. The Israel Defense Force have stated that they are reviewing the incident, with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation claims there were no incidents near the site. The situation remains there, with many civilians caught in the crossfire. And now into business. Nigerian Power Minister Chief Adebayo Adelabu has emphasized the need for a well-structured policy framework to drive a successful energy transition agenda. He highlighted Nigeria's recently approved National Integrated Electricity Policy as a blueprint for harmonizing power generation, transmission and distribution, including gas-to-power and renewable expansion. At the 2025 African Energy Forum in Cape Town, South Africa, Adelabu reinforced Nigeria's pivotal role in shaping Africa's energy future. He participated in a closed-door ministerial roundtable where he shared Nigerian strategies for aligning policy, regulation and financing a drive efficiency and unlock investment in critical energy infrastructure. During a panel discussion on energy transition, Adelabu emphasized Nigeria's pragmatic approach, stating that while committed to decarbonization, the country's vast hydrocarbon resources remain vital for economic and energy security. He also held strategic bilateral talks with key stakeholders, including South Africa's Minister of Electricity and Energy. He also reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to deepening energy ties with the UK and explored opportunities for trade and grid modernization with other international partners. And finally, from the world of sports, Nigerian winger Moses Simon is set to join newly promoted Paris FC from FC Nantes after completing a routine medical. The transfer fee, reportedly around €7 million, has been agreed upon by both clubs, according to top transfer expert Fabrizio Romano. Simon, who turned 30 next month, is expected to sign a 3-year contract with Paris FC, doubling his earnings from his time at FC Nantes. He spent 6 successful years with Nantes, making 201 appearances and scoring 33 goals. The official unraveling is expected soon, with fans eagerly waiting the arrival of the Super Eagles star. And with that, we've come to the end of the news at noon. But before we go, here is a recap of the major headlines. We brought you news from Nigeria that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and National Assembly have faced a fresh criticism over the 2024 budget extension. And also, the indigenous people of Biafra has condemned proposed cattle ranches in state, describing the move as land-grabbing strategy. And from the foreign scene, United Nations condemned Gaza aid death trap as dozens reported killed by Israeli fire. And from business, Minister calls for policy framework to drive energy transition. And from the world of sports, Moses Simon completes Paris FC medical ahead of transfer. And on behalf of the news production team, thanks for listening. I am Grace Ugalahi.
And that was the news on Honor 103.5 FM.